soon. And hello, we are live now. My name is Tara Stevenson, and I serve as the Dean of Student Engagement and Career Development. We're here for another Saints meetup. And so let me see, I might have to invite you again on our Instagram. Let's see, because I can see where you joined. This is where we always have lots of fun technical things. I wonder if you're logged into your personal account. But while we are waiting, oh, wait a minute, I think I see it. Requests. Let's see if it works for us now. But this is our weekly Saints meetup. It says that you're unable to join. I wonder if that's because somebody else might be logged into your account. Let me send it again. Okay, I just sent it. But that's okay. We'll go ahead and get started. Otherwise, you know what I might do, Sam, is I'm going to invite. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Awesome. All right, now we can officially start. So as I said, my name is Tara. I serve as the Dean of Student Engagement and Career Development here at Flagler, and we are doing our weekly Saints Meetup, where I love to get together with some of our student leaders across campus and hear more about their involvement. And so today I am joined by Sam. And so Sam, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, I'm Samuel Sawney. I go by Sam on campus. I am a junior. I'll graduate next May, or the following May, not this upcoming one. I am a digital media production major with a minor in strategic communication.
Awesome. And where are you from?
I am from Tampa, Florida.
And are you living on campus or off campus?
I'm living on campus. I live in Abear.
And do you have a roommate there?
Yes, I do. I do have a suite mate.
A suite mate, that's right, because Abear has the individual rooms and you share like a common like welcoming space. I don't know what y'all call that over there. So why don't you share with us, what are you all involved in? Because I know that you are involved in a lot.
Well, I am the secretary for the Black Student Union. I am also a part of the honors program on campus. I am also part of the Faculty Senate Diversity and Inclusion Committee as a student representative. And I am helping out with Com Week 2021.
Whew, so we have got a whole lot, and we're going to totally digest all of that and go through those. We did get to hear from Presley last week about her involvement with honors program. But you've been, how many years have you been in the honors program?
Since my sophomore year, so this would be, at the end of this year, will be my second year.
Yeah. And what are some of the things that you've been doing with that program?
So with the honors program, it basically just, it helps you further like your learning out like with like within the classroom, but then also like outside the classroom, if that makes any sense. So how they have it set up, like your freshman year, from what I understood, I didn't have to go through this because I got added into the program after that. But from what I understand is that the freshman incoming class, they do honors 100, and then they do a learning community in the spring. And then sophomore year, you're going to do a Great Works project that's broken up into 2 semesters. And then junior year, you work on your capstone project, and this is your final showcase, like similar to like a senior seminar or a thesis project that you show to meet the requirements of the honors program. And then there's a lot of like little small intricate parts as well, but that's the gist of the program.
Yeah. So you also said that you serve as the secretary of the Black Student Union. So could you tell us about that club? Like, let's hear a little bit about what you guys have going on.
Yeah, so we just wrapped up Black History Month. We did several events throughout the month. The recent event that we just did was Soul Food Sunday. We had a very good turnout with that.
Tell me more about it. I want to hear all about it.
So this was our third annual Soul Food Sunday. So we did it in the Virginia room this year because COVID. We had to make sure that it was socially distant and we were able to have food on campus. And that's kind of a difficult thing to do, especially with Corona now.
Yeah.
So we had food catered, and then what we did, we had a presentation in the beginning of like the meeting, I guess, and we just talked about like the history of soul food, why it's important, like why it's such an integral part of the Black community. And then after that, we released everybody to get food, and then we just sat around and like talked and conversed, and it was a great time.
That's great. I know you mentioned COVID, which is obviously affecting so much of our student engagement and student clubs. How have you guys been managing that?
I would say we've been managing it fairly well. We used to meet in Student Center room 202, but that room is too small to accommodate like our population size. So we decided to go with the Virginia room, similar to what SGA does in a sense. And so we just have this bigger space so that way we can accommodate as many people in person, because we do recognize as an exec board that in order for for productive dialogue with just any hard topics when it comes to like Black identity, the Black community in general, like it's important to like have that sense of community in the room. But then at the same time, we didn't want to exclude anybody who couldn't come to campus either. So we also offer a Zoom option as well.
Yeah. I know there are so many of our clubs that are trying to figure out what this looks like. How can you be together and join in together without this ability to be together? So it's like working against one another. But I think you all have created this sense of community where you have so many people that are coming together each week, and whether they're logging in through Zoom or coming in person.
Yes, absolutely.
And so what are some of the other things that BSU does? Like if we have a student who knows about you, or knows of you, I should say, how could they know more about you?
Know more about me in what type of sense? Like more about
BSU. Like yeah.
So more about BSU, if you want more information, you can find us on our social medias. We have a Facebook page as well as our Instagram page. We're a lot more active on Instagram, I will say. It is Flagler BSU, one word, very simple. We have a link tree, so you could also register for our meetings on Saints Connect and any additional events that we have coming up. And that's our best form of engagement is honestly with our Instagram.
And what are some things that y'all have coming up?
Coming up, I not sure if I'm at liberty to say this, but we are working on doing a fashion show with BFDC. And so in the next few weeks, there'll be more details about that. So just be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, and we know that events are constantly changing, and whether it works or it doesn't work, the intent is there. And I know that with COVID, it's this whole like adapting. And so if you aren't able to do an in-person one, but maybe you're able to share some information, I'm sure that will happen. So you also mentioned that you serve on the Faculty Senate Diversity and Inclusion Committee.
Yes.
What does that mean? Because I don't think a lot of people know about these committees.
So I guess to break this down, faculty has their own, I guess, like their own like governance, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah, like a governance board.
So they formed a faculty senate, and that's where they are able to voice their concerns on behalf of faculty. And so where I come in with faculty senate, I come in as a student representative, where certain things might kind of like go over faculty's heads, whereas like there are certain things that students would consider more. And in a lot of ways, like it does make a big difference when we're a part of these committees. And so more or less what I do on this specific committee, I just voice certain input in terms of diversity and inclusion and what I feel personally will like help make the campus more diverse and inclusive.
Yeah. And so just as a reminder, if anybody has any questions on our Facebook page, our YouTube page, or even on Instagram, we're monitoring those. And so absolutely make sure that you ask them. What are some things that you've worked on with the Diversity and Inclusion Committee?
So things that we did Diversity Week in January, and that was Community Through Diversity. So there was a week long of events, and basically we had Joy Harjo come out. She was the U.S. Poet Laureate. We had like several other different events across campus, and I couldn't go to all of them. Very busy schedule, and I don't think anybody.
Oh, you all did so much.
Yes.
Yes.
But whatever I could go to, I would try to attend and whatnot. And it was just like that week is just a week just to showcase and embrace diversity on campus.
Yeah. So dare I ask, is there anything else that you're involved in?
I am also involved in Calm Week 2021, and I'm also working on some senior thesis projects for the digital media production major as well. So those are some independent student projects, and then Calm Week as a whole.
Yeah, so Calm Week is a standing tradition, I feel like, here at Flagler that really paved the way for a couple other weeks. Say this week we've got Business Week. In years past, we've had Design Week, and I think with COVID, it might be changing it a little bit. So could you explain what Calm Week is? Because as a communication major, you probably totally get it. But for someone who's not a communication major, what is Calm Week?
Absolutely. So Calm Week is just a week where we bring in industry and alumni professionals to come and speak about the communication industry and like just like tips and tricks on like how to like make yourself marketable. And it's more or less like a week-long workshop, if you will, where you're just learning, and building on skills, and like just like you're meeting a lot of like new people within the major as well. It's just a way for all of us in the department just to like, I guess like in a sense it like creates like a sense of community, but at the same time we're also learning about like more about our majors and what we want to do in that field once we leave college.
Yeah. I know in the past the Career Development Center has helped out with some resume workshops or LinkedIn workshops, but I remember going to one workshop where I'm pretty sure I sat on the floor in the gamache because it was jam-packed with attendees, and one of the professors, I think they were doing like these 10-minute rotating like short presentations, and the professors were sharing some of their own research and interest, and I think it was an adjunct at the time was talking about different marketing things, and I just sat there 100% fascinated by it. But it was really cool to see so many students within the different communication majors coming together during one week.
Yeah. It's definitely a time we learn a lot, and we definitely have some stuff in store this year. So that is going to be March 15th through the 18th, I believe, or 15th through 17th, right before spring break.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So okay, got it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't know why I thought it was next week, but if it's the couple days right before spring break.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going through all that information, it'll be good to just kind of chill out then on spring break.
Absolutely.
Or take into consideration what you learned and put it to practice. So anything that you were involved in the past that maybe you're not involved in now?
Yes, so I was a part of the FlagSHIP committee, also known as the Quality Enhancement Plan Committee, and that is, I guess, the best way to explain it is for like the new incoming freshmen. And I don't know if the requirements changed, but more or less it's supposed to be like a high impact program.
Yeah.
Just embrace diversity through citizenship, through diverse democracy. I'm very hazy. It's been a minute since I've been on this. And I was on SGA last semester as well.
And so FlagSHIP is a newer thing at Flagler where it's designed to be during your sophomore year, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
And that's where some of our students get to do study away or study abroad or community projects. It's intended to be like a shortened small group class that it's a high impact, like just what you're saying, where you get to kind of do some practical work either in the community or over some different topics. Did you participate in FlagSHIP yourself? I know they've gone through a couple different semesters with some pilot programs, and then of course COVID, which we all say just kind of threw a wrench into everything.
Well, unfortunately, I was unable to do a pilot because of COVID. I had signed up for a pilot in LA, and COVID happened and completely canceled that. So, yeah.
And so hopefully that will come back in the future. We're looking forward to it coming back. And why did you choose the current clubs that you're involved in?
I guess the best way to explain it is I joined everything for a different reason. And so for me, like coming to Flagler, like it was a very like major culture shock for me. And so personally, I didn't really see anybody that looked like me on campus. And so the best way to like, I guess, find that sense of community was through the Black Student Union. At the time, it was known as BSA, Black Student Association.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was one way I got plugged in, and I started showing up to meetings. And at one point, like the exec board freshman year approached me and they were like, "Hey, would you like to be on exec board?" Completely out of nowhere, wasn't expecting it, and I left at the opportunity. And I guess in a lot of ways that kind of like spearheaded like a lot of different things that I have done and that I am doing on campus. The honors program, that's a little bit different. I wanted to be a part of that program. Just I guess that's just the ambitious side of me. I guess I like learning when I can, and I'm actually very excited for my capstone project that I really need to work on. On the back burner, but
a little bit of accountability here.
Yes, absolutely. So that's in the works, and hopefully I'll be sharing more details about that soon. And what else? And I guess like faculty senate, like that's something I've been doing since freshman year. Also, just knowing, like, just recognizing how like I felt out of place on campus, I kind of figured, okay, why not join something where like they're trying to change the culture?
Yeah.
And so that was the reasoning behind that as well.
I am so glad that you shared that, because I think students are able to use clubs to find their own community, whether it's to find others that look like them or have the same interests as them or have the same goals as them. Like that's what we love to hear, is that your clubs and organizations can become like a part of your home and your community that you're here with. And hopefully Black Student Union has done that, and hopefully you've been able to see some of the change or be involved in stuff with the different committees. Could you share a little bit about what it's like to be a member of a club versus a leader?
Absolutely. So being a member is very low stakes. More or less when you're a member, you can show up to a meeting, you don't have to necessarily show up. It's more or less like, I kind of think of it as like a Costco membership, if you will. Like, like you're not going to go to Costco every single day. You're going to go when you need it. Like,
I mean, let's hope so, because I feel like I do have to like rope in my husband sometimes when it comes to Costco.
Absolutely. So in some ways, I kind of see it like that, whereas like a leader, like you're kind of more hands-on. You're planning events. You're working with other clubs. You're working with faculty and staff, with whatever the case may be. You're spearheading initiatives that your club wants to like work on. So it really just depends on the approach that you want to take with your college experience.
Yeah, and it's kind of like the level of commitment.
Mm-hmm.
I think about being a member is like you get to make your commitment what you want from it, but being a leader it's holding that accountability, and it's saying that you are making a bigger commitment to it. I am just loving all these hearts that are coming up on Instagram, so thank you so much to whoever is loving these comments that Sam is sharing. I appreciate it. So what would you say to someone who is thinking about getting involved?
I would say what I did, I just kind of like jumped it feet first, and you don't know what's going to work until you try. And
Yeah.
so some things will work, some things will click, and some things won't, and that's perfectly fine. And I think it's all about just trying and see what works. Um, for me, like going to BSU, that worked for me, and I stick with it. 3 years later, here I am. Whereas like I did SGA for a semester, and that didn't necessarily work out, but I can at least say, hey, I tried it, and I know what that experience is like.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
it's really all about like just seeing what works for you and like knowing your interests. And I guess in some ways, like what kind of gave me, I guess, an advantage in a sense, like coming from high school, I was very involved as well. So to me, like getting involved in like campus life really wasn't a question to me. Like I knew I was going to do it anyway. So
Yeah. Well, and I think so many of our students, naturally will get involved in Student Government Association to find out more about the school. And then you find your home in your different groups. And again, like I can't stress enough, like just try something. You'll go to a meeting or you'll see what they're putting out and you're like, these are my people, or no, this is not for me and I'm going to try the next thing, or you could just be an event attendee of something that another club is putting on versus having a membership with it. Oh, well, very cool. Well, we have chatted about Black History Month and Com Week. I knew I wanted to ask you more about those. Is there anything else that you'd like to share about BSU?
at this point, I don't think there's anything to share. But we do have our weekly meetings on Mondays at 8 p.m. in the Virginia room. Please register on Saints Connect.
Oh, Saints Connect.
Yes.
Like that little plug you did. And so, yes, Saints Connect is where you can connect with our other clubs that are on campus. It's also our calendar where you can see lots of different events and things like that. And so I know that there are always some exciting things going on. We've got a Saints After Dark that's coming up next week. We are thrilled to be in level 2 right now. Thank you to everyone who has done a wonderful job in keeping our campus healthy and safe. And so our campus rec is doing some more of our field trips to play mini golf on Fridays and head to the driving range and stuff like that. So I do know that those are on the schedule, in addition to more business week events this week and then Com Week that's coming up. Well, cool. Well, any lasting parting words that you would love to give to anybody that's watching this with us live or that's going to watch it later on?
I would just say if you're a student at Flagler College and you don't know where to start, that's perfectly normal, and it's a part of like a growing pain. And I guess the way that I kind of look at it, you could either embrace it or you can, just I guess kind of like have some sort of self-pity, which I mean, like it's really up to you in that sense. But I guess my biggest advice I would say is just try what works for you. And clubs and organizations may be like the thing for you. And if that doesn't work for you, maybe like you just want to pick up a hobby or a passion of yours, or if that's diving more into your major and building your portfolio. There's so much you can do, and no college experience is like identical. Everybody has a different path and different interests and different everything, different upbringings, different social economic status. Like it's all about what you want to get out of your experience.
Yeah. And if you're not seeing something that we have in the system, that's what I love to see, like create it. Have a conversation. Like let's try something out. Let's get a special interest group going. Let's get a club going. Let's get an event going to see if there is any interest in it and see what happens from there. Well, I do enjoy putting my guests on the spot. And so this is co-curricular as well. And so what keyword would you like to give our viewers seeking co-curricular credit for tonight?
Co-curricular credit?
Need one word.
One word?
So as a hint, Dr. Rivera during a workshop last week said WandaVision. So we know what he's been watching on Disney Plus.
Okay.
So you pick a word.
All right. For my comm majors that have media aesthetics, you're going to enjoy this one. It's going to be Dogtooth.
Dogtooth. All right. If you are seeking co-curricular credit for joining us tonight, I would love for you to email the word Dogtooth to studentactivities@flagler.edu, and I will make sure to add you in our Saints Connect system for co-curricular credit. But thank you all so much for joining us, whether you've been on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram. We always appreciate when you join us and hear from our students. I'm excited to meet, I think, next week with our president of our Flagler Democrats Club, who also serves as an RA and is really involved on campus. I can't wait for her to share some of her experiences. But I do always like to end these with, please mask up, keep physically distant. Let's stay vigilant, as our VP of Student Affairs, Dr. Miles, says. I do love when she says we have to remain vigilant during this. And so thank you so much for being a part of our Healthy Saints community. Sam, thank you for joining us. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes. All right. And we will see you all later. Thank you.